Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at one of the hardest, most difficult recordings from the studio I've ever seen, and it's going to be our dearest, beloved IU. But she was very sick when she was recording the music video to Love Wins All, but what not a lot of people know, up until a couple of days ago when she released this recording from the studio, she was also very sick when she was recording the song. Now, as a vocal coach, I don't like to see anybody sing when they are sick, okay? When you are sick, you want to let your vocal cords rest. You want to let them just chill and recover. But part of the life of the professional singer is also that sometimes your work cannot wait for your health to get it together. So in this case, she had to record even though she was very sick. So I will be pretty much suffering through it with her. Let's look at it. I think it's gonna be pretty difficult to get through, but we're gonna look at how actual professional singer works, when they need to record, when they need the recording to sound really good, even though they are sick. So let's get into it. I'm still flabbergasted when I look at IU. I cannot believe that she is of the age that she is. She literally sometimes look like 16, 17. She looks beautiful.
일단 벌써 이런 데까지만 해볼까?
Part of the problem during this recording was also the stamina. So when you're sick, it's not just about your voice.
Dearest darling, my universe, 날 데려가 줄래? 나의 이 가난한 상상력으론 떠올릴 수 없는 곳으로.
나쁘지 않아.
Good. So a very big chunk of this song is very airy. So she can really relax in that tone and not put too much pressure on the vocal cords. So overall, when you're sick, one thing you don't want to do is to whisper. It's very stressful for vocal cords as well. But this kind of lightweight, airy approach is still not the best for the vocal cords, but they will survive. Also, it's eliminating kind of a risk of any vocal break and stuff, because it's a little bit like a still carries quite a lot of value, and it's thankfully fitting to the song.
나의 이 가난한 상상력으론
약간 처진 느낌이었으면 좋겠어.
나의 이 가난한
어때?
괜찮은 것 같아. 저기 멀리 from Earth to Mars 꼭 같이 가줄래? 그곳이 어디든 오랜 외로움 그 반대말을 찾아서 그 반대말.
There's so much under breath there. So a lot of air and just a tiny little tone mixed into it here and there. This one consistent, kind of very airy tone is always in the background. Is very fuzzy. You run out of the air very fast because you're basically air dumping quite a lot. But then she's coming through. Just a tiny bit more value for like always not more than just a second.
좋은데?
Ready?
어떤 실수로 이토록 우리는 함께일까 함께.
That one was very tight. She has one option, which is one thing that IU does very, very well, which is more of the frontal resonance instead of singing it from the throat. So everything that she's going to do now from the throat is going to be quite tight, very, 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 you know, it's going to definitely show her sickness. And it's going to be very tight. It's probably going to be slightly strained. It might be even painful or really fatiguing for her. So you want to avoid pressure on the glottal area. You want to go da, 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 da. That would be the placement that you want, which is elevating from here instead of da, da, da. You don't want that one at all. We don't want to touch that at all.
좋은데? 어떤 실수로 이토록 우리는 함께일까 함께 헤이 함께 잠깐만 좀
Oh, baby.
짧은 바이브레이션 넣고 싶은 거 아니야?
맞아
컨디션을 안 따라주고.
She needs to go a little bit more elevated. But she's getting still in more of a chesty space, which is weighing her down. While if we would also half lift that she would have a little bit of a better passage to that higher tone.
붙여서 한번 들어볼게.
But to be fair, the stamina is going down as well. Like you can see, when you're sick, it's not only about your vocal cords that you are being sick. She's obviously, I think she mentioned it too, that she's being sick from her stomach as well. It's your overall stamina. You are tired. She looks like she has a fever going on. So your whole body stamina goes down. And this is it's a good example of how singer needs their entire body. Like you need a good breath support if you're, if you have a phlegm in your lungs, if you have full lungs, like she mentioned that she thinks she might have pneumonia, your breath capacity goes radically down. Oh, baby.
이토록 우리는 함께일까
The first take was the best.
가이드보다는 훨씬 난데 이렇게 딱 이렇게 빼놓고
Oh my god. That was slightly pitchy. She's not gonna like it.
저 바이브레이션이 조금 과해.
맞아.
이런 에너지에서 녹음을 하는 거는 사실 미친 짓이긴 해.
이거 좋긴 좋은데 너무 이건 또 우렁차지 않아?
So she's going for a little bit of a width. Well, they're both discussing it would be a little bit better to keep it a little bit more narrow. Which would be, I'm putting a lot of vibrato there. Ignore my vibrato. She's not using it there, but I'm a very vibrato girl. I have to focus very hard not to put my vibrato everywhere. Oh,
한번 다시 해보고.
she's so cute. That was really
괜찮은 것
nice.
할 수 있을 것 같은데?
할 수 있을 것 같아.
Holy cow.
러버가
I would never, and this is the problem, that you would never allow a singer to record in this state ever. But again, yeah, as a professional singer, you have to do it sometimes. Your work won't wait. And I've seen a lot of people record in a lot of like a variety. I recorded very sick before. So it is something that you've got to do, and you can do a couple of things to really help yourself a tiny little bit. But with this level of sickness, it's so hard.
좀 짧나 싶은데 어때? 오케이. 부서지도록 나를 꼽아놔 더 사랑이 내게 임맞춰 lover Love is our love is our love Love, love, love
that phrase had to be so exhausting for her. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's one long phrase. And the breath management there, even when you're very healthy, it would be quite difficult. Then you have a little breath. It's quite difficult for breath management. Like there's not a lot of breathing pauses there and you have to hold it. Ooh. That was a difficult phrase for stamina and breath.
폐렴 아니어도 이거 폐렴 걸려서
오늘 불어 폐렴 되지. 오늘 이 녹음 때문에.
이거 두 자리에 피를 토하면서
결국 그럼에도 어째서 우리는 서로일까.
But you can see how much she is elevating her tone from her vocal cords. So most of the singers that are very heavily singing from the glottal area, right here, would suffer so badly. Their voice would be breaking while sick like this, you know? But since she is really avoiding a lot of pressure there, on the higher tones, she's here. She's right here, instead of letting the sound drop down into her glottal area, which would constantly get her out of the control over her voice. Also, you don't hear a lot of fry, which is kind of the first sign of a very, very, very tired vocal cords, is that vocal fry. Some vocal fry, the stylized is fine, but then if you cannot stop frying while speaking, listen to her when she speaks. She's speaking from here, and you can hear a lot of fry. It's that sick-ish fry. You can hear it, and when she's singing, it completely withers away. You don't hear it at all. Do you hear it? Right, that's a very sick fry. Oh, poor baby.
아 이게 지금 결과물이 계속 나쁘지 않아가지고 놓을 수가 없어.
그냥 어차피 이거 피 한번 토해봐.
그래.
그림이라도
득음할지도 모르지.
카메라 렌즈 쪽으로 했어.
이렇게 이쪽으로.
렌즈 튀게.
오케이 알겠어.
와 렌즈 튀는 거 진짜.
그거 꼭 쇼츠로 써줘.
Like, listen, her voice is coming in and out when she's speaking normally. It's because she's speaking from here, like normally we do.
천천히 너를 두 눈에 담아 유영하듯 떠오른 그날 그 밤처럼 나와 함께 겁 없이.
Of course, one thing that is contributing is the song, the slides. Those big, massive slides that are there, ooh, with such a sick voice, are so difficult to do. They are difficult to do when you're healthy and you have like a full, entire control over your voice, because when you're sick, you're losing a big chunk of control of your voice.
눈앞이 캄캄하지.
토한다면 지금이니까. 자, 한번 해볼게요.
천천히 너를 두 눈에 담아 한 번 더 편안히.
Listen how she cushions that with a like so much air before she actually hits you with a little bit of a tone.
근데 그때에 비해서 힘은 절반인데 목 상태는 더 좋다.
천천히 너를
한 번 더죠.
천천히 너를 두.
아, 지금 되게
Super
좋은데
soft
너에서
song.
그 뮤트는 안 되는
So
안
lightweight.
돼서 계속 하는 거야. 나도 알고 있어.
천천히 너를 두 눈에 담아 한 번 더 편.
오케이 뒤로 가봐.
오케이.
유영하듯
it's this slide that I'm flabbergasted that she's hitting so beautifully and without any pitchiness, any just. It's a slide up into. It's a whole octave slide. It's quite incredible, honestly.
그날 그 밤처럼 나
It is mainly because IU knows her passaggio so freaking well. She can move around her vocal break really effortlessly, and she is very agile with that movement.
함께 겁 없이 저물어줄래
So pretty. Let's go, girl. We're almost there.
들어볼게.
이거 올릴 때 지윤이의 마지막 녹음해서 제목 올려줘.
Oh my god, this scared me when I saw it for the first time. It is her last upload. I was like, oh no.
근데 좀 조금
필이 없어.
필이 없다.
킵해주세요 일단.
나 함께 겁 없이 저물어줄래
마지막 줄은 좋은.
I think the biggest issue that she's struggling here with is the support, the breath support, and the whole core support at the very end of the day. Because, first of all, she probably has a lower capacity of her lungs because of the sickness, and the stamina gets you just really tired very fast. She also feels sick from her stomach. So again, all of that core support that you need for such difficult singing is lacking, and you can see that every single time she puts so much energy into every single phrase and how exhausted she is when she's done.
그래? 나는 근데 마지막 줄이 뭐가 좋은 건지 잘 모르겠어가지고. 그러니까 지금 앞에 숨소리가 너무 많아가지고 그 저물어줄래를 사실 확 숨소리로 해야지 그게 임팩트가 있을 것 같은데 앞에도 좀 계속 숨이 많아서 좀 그 임팩트가 덜해서 여길 뭐 감정으로 좀 줘야 되나. 지금 것도 좋긴 좋아.
그래 너무.
So usually with a soft song like this, but it's not an entirely soft song. The song is pretty dramatic. You have to be pretty careful about how you're building the dynamics. You want to put a lot of love and care into building the dynamics of the song like this, because it has to be really slowly crafted and built up and layered. So you definitely do want to have a little bit more impact progressively, more and more across the song, to kind of finish at the, at the most impact towards the end, and then slowly calm it down. And you don't want to have a harsh step up, so very airy, and then suddenly we're just fully belting. So the building up have to be quite carefully
깔끔하게
crafted.
한번 다시 해볼게요. 킵하고.
나 함께 겁 없이 저물어줄래
좋은데?
좋아.
So pretty.
산산이 나를 도망쳐올 널 너와 슬퍼지고 싶어 my lover
좋다.
These parts are getting me. They're so gorgeous.
너와 슬퍼지고 싶어 my lover
좋아. 됐어.
자 이제 대망의
자.
명갑이 형이 부르기도 전에 수정하려는 그 파트 다시 부를 거라는.
I'm honestly quite surprised that she's even talking between she's recording, because obviously everything just is so laborious for her.
자 지금 이제 간다. 피 이제 가. 자 가보자.
비련에게서 도망쳐라 넌 나와 꼭 끝까지 가줘 my lover 일부러 나란히 길 잃은 우리 두 사람 부서지도록.
The funny thing is that the mid portion of this is more difficult for her than those absolutely highest tones, because they The midsection is still here. She's still using a tiny bit of a resonance from the rest of her throat. Still, you can hear a little bit of a residue. That top tone is very comfortable for her, probably the most comfortable from all the other passages.
날 보가나 더 사랑이 내게 much lover Love is a love is a love Love, love, love
Yeah, oh my god. Oof. It's the breath. The breath is the biggest problem. Her positions are gorgeous when it comes to movement across her passaggio, which passaggio, like you have your chest voice, right? You have your head voice. And passaggio, sometimes people call it a mix, is basically passing through from one to another. And you have a vocal break in the middle of them. You need to be able to work around it in a very smart and technical way if you want to have it very, very fluent and you don't want it to sound very laborious. She is a singer that works around her passaggio a lot. Very, very, very often, almost in every single song. So she's quite skilled about it. But again, this is a very long phrase where she doesn't have a lot of time to breathe. And it's really writing off of her stamina.
한번 그냥 한번 들어볼게. 네, 됩니다.
운영은 되네.
오케이. 자, 러버까지 가볼게요. 예,
동원이었다.
조하나.
안녕하세요.
아유, 그래도 죽기 전에 인사와서 다행이다.
I'm sad. I'm happy we said hello before I died.
볼 수 있어서 다행이야. 예, 피토할. 아, 좋은 구경한다, 동안이. 다시 해볼게.
The first thing about everything is that the vocal cords, when they are this sick and you keep on singing, they will keep on swelling. They will keep on getting more and more irritated. So you can also hear it on her voice, the sound, the tone quality, the color of her voice is completely withering away. And when she's speaking, it's pretty much, most of it is now just a fry. It's one of the telltale signs that her vocal cords are getting really, really swollen, very, very irritated. It has to hurt. This has to hurt. Oof.
나와서 끝까지 가줘 my lover
가능. 일단 두고 넘어가자.
두고 넘어가봐.
일부러 나가니 얘는 우리 두 사람
좋은데 이 나란히만 그거보다 좀 못하다.
If I had a singer do this, I wouldn't let them speak for another 3 days after this, like a complete vocal rest. If you're ever gonna be this sick, just don't do this. This is done by a professional. Don't ever think that you can do this while being sick like this. Absolutely not.
아, 나는
Like, I use
기준이 그런 거
very
같아.
seasoned professionals, so she knows what she can afford to do and what she
좀 많이
can't.
세갖고 이 볼륨으로 하려면 그렇게 스무스하게 하는 건 조금 어려울 것 같고 나란히가 그래도 이거는 어쨌든 테크닉이라 멋있긴 한데 길이는 좀 힘든 티가 너무 많이 나는 것 같아. 한 번 다시 들어볼게 그 부분만. 두 사람의 사도 한 번만 들어봐봐.
So, yeah, the biggest problem here for her, what she's saying is that the end of the phrases, especially the very long ones, are sounding really, really exhausted, which is completely understandable. You can see that when she's done singing, she literally collapses, which is, yeah, what's gonna happen if you're gonna get such a long phrase with not a lot of places to breathe and your stamina is very low and you're just not getting the support that you need.
나란히
The slide is still kind of.
주는 사람
아, 좋은데?
그래?
어.
예, 넘어가자 일단.
It's kind of very lucky at the end of the day that it's this song, right? Like imagine she would be trying to record this sick lilac or something like that. Like it wouldn't pan out so well, in my opinion, because like partially when I've heard that recording for the first time, and you probably did too, when you first heard Love Wins All, everybody was like, wow, like she really delivered for her voice. Like she sounds heartbroken, exhausted. And now we know why. Like it was really, you know, it's never lucky to record sick, but at least it was a recording where, you know, this kind of a exhaustion, desperation for the voice was actually translated well into the context of the song.
맞아.
부서지도록 나를 꼭 안아 사랑이 내게 입맞춰 lover
러버 어때?
Lover.
이게
There was a part of the song that I really like because she can drop it into that vibrato. Lover. So pretty.
있었으면 좋겠긴 한데 힘을 주는데 힘 빠진 소리가 러버는 났으면 좋겠거든. 그래서 내가 해볼게. 응.
내게 입맞춰 lover
I like the one before.
막 러브 갈게. 자, 근데 이거는 좀 이쁘게 낼게. 잠깐만. 아,
I know they said it, it's not pneumonia, but I ain't sure about that for sure. Oh God.
아 어떡하지?
She's mainly coughing because she's putting a lot of pressure on her lungs as well. Because if you're sick, try to hold your breath. Like your body is gonna struggle. And basically, singing is to a certain level releasing your air very, very slowly and very regulated. So it's very similar to just basically holding your breath. Like it's the same kind of a pressure on your lungs. So
마지막 한 소절.
oh, I'm suffering. Oh my God. Oof. Baby.
마지막 한 소절 남겨놓고. 네, 할 수 있어. 죄송해요. 아, 좋다.
That release of that tone, I was praising it in the song already, is incredible. Now that we're also talking about this,
love
끝음들이 좋은 게 되게 많은데 방금 거는 처음 들어가는 게 괜찮았고.
it's so hard to diffuse tone like that. The pitch is irrelevant, but the release of a tone, there's a whole exercise that I do with my singers, and I do it myself, is building the tone up and then diffusing the tone. It sounds much easier than you would probably expect it to be. Try it at home. Try to start from the middle tone of like a mid-size and then try to diffuse it slowly. You will see how incredibly hard it is. And now add a sickness on it. I have already really respected and love IU.
감정이.
Probably one of the most respected artists from me.
근데 에이, 1번으로 가.
But after this,
동아는 어떠니?
앞에 되게 느낌 좋은데요, 누나?
she's such a professional.
약간
I also really like that she had issues to find her placement for a certain kind of like midsection at the very beginning. You said that she struggled, she was putting too much impact on that. But then when she found that placement, she's fine. It is such a cool thing to see how fast she just reprogrammed and find a placement that was the most comfortable for her in her given situation. And the placement was so healthy that all those slides that she was doing at the high tone were so freaking effortless.
그렇다면 앞쪽만
Also, again, such a minimum amount of fry that you can notice in her singing, even though she has
그래? 오케이.
such massive swelling. She is such an incredible human for her fans.
Universe, 날 데려가 줄래? Oh, with the love, with the love, love, love.
Oh my god. Even she's happy with it. Look at her. She's like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, I know what I'm feeling.
저는 괜찮은 거 같아요.
It's very good.
오케이, 그러면 끝낼게요. 끝.
Only a really good true artist can take their biggest disadvantage and just make it work and make it work so freaking well like she did right there. So freaking impressive. And listen, don't do this at home. This is like one of those TV stunts that you have that little message like, don't do this at home. This is done by professionals. That's exactly what this is, okay? So when you're gonna be this sick, don't sing. Don't sing. Don't sing at all. Don't talk, don't whisper. Mainly don't whisper, but don't sing. She is, she's a professional that's been singing for over 15 years and she knows what she can afford to do with her voice and what she can't. And trust me, if she wouldn't have to sing, she would not. 100%. So this is also interesting to see how the whole production of Love Wins All had to be quite of a clutch because they couldn't wait for her to get better. I would like to, you know, I'm interested now. Like, what was the reason? Why were we rushing so fast? Because she was very sick during the recording of the music video and she was very sick when she was recording the song. So it had to be in the same kind of like a timeline. And now I'm like, why were we rushing so fast? But at the same time, like, again, having such a massive difficulty and making the best out of it, it's quite incredible. She's truly a rock star. And just her being able to put it all together, just get her the energy outburst because she was recorded in the phrases and in the lines and she just had to master all her energy for that one phrase and die off and then sing again and die off. And that is such a persistence in a human. It's really incredible. I've always respected and loved IU, but every time I find something new about her, I watch documentary, I watch recording from it, it's just gross. It just, I don't know if I can love her more or just adore her, respect her more. And she always somehow comes up with something where I'm like, wow, this is an incredible human. So IU keeps on surprising us with how incredible she is. But that's it for my adoration. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe right here. Here is the video that YouTube actually recommends for you. And here is the rest of my K-pop reactions. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.